Hello and welcome to episode 248 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. It's James and Jake here again on the back of another Sheffield Wednesday loss. Oh, it's just getting
wet.
It's just, yeah, exactly. That's good. Do we stop talking about Sheffield Wednesday on the Talking Wednesday podcast? I think we'd have a nicer time. But that's what we do for the first half an hour anyway. So,
I'll be honest with you. I'm at this point, I'm ready for letting you teach me about how Pokemon work and just call it the Talking Pokemon channel.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Talking nerd stuff. How are you anyway, mate? How's your week been?
Not too
you
bad,
sound
mate.
like crap.
Oh, so I sound like utter crap. I got this like Wednesday-ish. And my voice just started to go further and further downhill. I picked up some cold rubbish off someone, and it's not my kid fur chain because they're well for a chain. My two are all fit and well, so whoever got this from, I'm not happy with. But apart from that, I'm all good. Getting some things set in place for the end of the month because I've got an operation. But apart from that, everything's good. It's just making sure I've got our lasses time off work and trying to figure it all out. I'm kind of glad that it's happened early in the year than later in the year. I can get it out of the way with, and then I can just plan for whatever I want to do coming to next season and stuff like that. And I've been looking at, like, you know, when you get to like January, you start looking at what you did last year and like reflecting on how to make things better. Mine have been reflecting, looking at what can I 3D print now, because that become a thing. Because
God, he's got another era of tech nerdery.
Oh, it was our joint Christmas present to each other, because our laugh like creating. She liked doing like cards and stuff, but she was getting annoyed with the vinyl she was getting. It was not good quality, and she was just getting annoyed. It's like, I want to create something. I'm like, well, why don't we look at this? And she's like, she said, she looked at the price, said, you always said if it got below a certain price, we could get one. And I went, yeah. And it like got below, like, I think it got below like 300. I was like, you know what? I'm having that. 3D printers at one point were stupid money. So we've been printing lots of different pieces of stuff. I am working on a 3D print of the Talking Wednesday sign to send you, so it can be in your background.
That's cool.
If you can send me.
How expensive is, like, because how does it work, the like print wise?
You mean like filament wise? So the filament wise, you get a ball which is about a 1 kilogram worth of ball, and it's about 20 quid per ball of filament, but it lasts a while depending on what you're printing. So if you're doing a bunch of stuff, buying bulk, you save more money. Right. So it's like that. It's if you send me the PNGs of the Talking Wednesday logo or text, and your Dexterity box one, I should be able to print it and you can have it in your background.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool.
So, and also down the line, I did see something that was quite nerdy, and I was very close to print it and just being surprised. There's an EAFC trophy I can print, and I was tempted to just send it you and go, there you go.
Oh, actually, speaking of trophies, it might save me some money from actually going to a trophy place for the draft.
I could do a draft trophy.
If I can design it, you tell me sort of like the parameters to design it, and I can design as like a plaque trophy.
Yeah. I can print that. That's easy. See, my little nerd tech hobby's not that bad thing now. Now you can get some out of it. Well, no, because
the problem is now you've made me want to buy one.
They are fun, mate. They really are. We've printed so much. I've even like this. This is literally sticks on my mic arm to put my in-ears on.
Fair enough.
And you think just a simple thing like that. But how your week been, mate?
Busy. Lot of work. Lot of bits to do around work, sort of thing. I'm trying to set it up in here. Like, I'm trying to sort the virtual camera OBS thing, but my old phone, I remember why I upgraded now, because the port on it is just knackered, right?
Right.
So it's a case of the charger only goes in at like one angle.
Oh, that's a bit dodgy.
So I'm trying to do it so I can set this up permanently and have it on OBS camera.
Yeah.
And sort of have it for the stream, but you'd need to keep it constantly charging, and that's the problem because it can wirelessly charge quite easily. So
could you not mount it
now
onto,
at the point,
could you not mount it onto like a wireless charger? Like,
potentially, but then I can't move the angle as easily. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I can get one of the circle ones maybe and stick it on the back. I'll have a look, but yeah, that's kind of put because I was gonna start trying to stream on a Saturday morning if I could when I wasn't working, obviously, or a Friday night. Because I'm 30 years old, I've got no life anymore, so I might as well. Apart from playing the odd show, which I haven't done in about a year now. Friday nights and Saturdays are my recovery time and having a nice glass of wine, basically.
Yeah.
So why not come back to the channel and bring the channel back and hang out with people like I used to? So yeah, that's what I've been trying to mess with. I've already got the setup set up. It's there. I'm looking at the telly. I'm looking at like where I want to do it. It's just a case of getting it finalized. Because it's also a case of I could sit here, but then the camera, and I could sit here and technically play, but I've got old man eyes. And even though I think it's a big TV, it's not that big.
Yeah.
So old man eyes would be against me with that, but I could, because I could technically move the microphone, but I kind of just want it to be its own thing, so I don't have to. The whole point is so I don't have to move everything every time.
You want it set it and not set it and forget it as much, but set it that it's already there, ready to go. When you want to record, you hit record. It's all set up, ready, done.
Yeah, and to be honest, I might just use this seat, tilt the screen, try and do it this way, sort of thing. But I just can't see as well. If that makes sense.
You got old man eyes.
I also kind of I need to upgrade my Mac. I'm at a point where it's great for the editing, but I know workflow wise, I am slower than I would be if I could render things faster. If it's just 2017 now, that's nearly 8 years ago. Well, it is 8 years ago, isn't it?
8 years ago. Yeah.
So it's a case of the technology has moved on to all those new chips and everything. So I might have to go down the Mac Mini route, but I'm also I've got the lovely screen. They don't make Macs like this anymore because they're too expensive for them to make for the profit margins.
If you can look at it, there is a company that will repurpose those screens into monitors. So they'll repurpose it in just a monitor.
I mean, is there a way I can lightning from the new Mac into this screen? Because it's another.
Potentially, yes.
You'd think I could. Potentially.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, mate. That's a Reddit search.
Yeah. No, I think I looked into it sort of thing, but obviously because then the machine needs to be on sort of. I don't know. I'll figure it out. This screen's 5K, man.
It wild gutted when my 5K iMac died. The screen was so nice.
Yeah.
Genuinely,
it's why you can sort of edit and it can still look good on tellies, because if you have it full on the 5K screen, you can kind of see when it looks really bad.
Yeah.
And I still output everything in 1080. Last week's podcast wouldn't this is what I'm saying, last week's podcast wouldn't render in 1080 for some reason. So I just bounced a different file and then did it in 720, and I was like, it's fine because the quality's still recorded at 4K and then just dropped down. But yeah.
I'm just not looking forward to Apple later going down the subscription model thing that they're doing with Final Cut.
Well, I switched from Adobe. It's like all the jobs, if I'm trying to pick up editing work, you need to be Adobe, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't want to. I want to use Final Cut and I want to use Affinity because they're not subscription services.
See, Final Cut is apparently going that way now.
Well, they're going to lose so much. Then people are just going to go over to DaVinci or something.
Which
and they've got to offer a legacy edition of it. I'm sorry,
Yep.
But then they'll, Apple, they'll just burn it into the ground. If they ruin Final Cut by doing that, man.
Not going to be happy. Generally, I'm not going to be happy. It's something called the Creator Suite or something like that.
And they'll use the fact that it's like Apple Intelligence or AI crap.
They are using
that
the
can
AI
just go all
crap.
the way. Yep. It's all the way through. And we've had AI tools for ages, and now all of a sudden it's just a buzzword. Hey. Anyway, welcome back to the Talking Wednesday podcast. Sheffield Wednesday have just lost to Portsmouth. Jake, talk us through it.
You know what? We weren't that bad. We weren't that bad at all. First half,
we weren't, were we?
Really good football. You could just do rinse and repeat at this point. Sheffield Wednesday weren't that bad, but then frailties happen. But Cooper Dart for us, the new keeper who come in from QPR, looked a little bit shaky at times. There were a couple of times where you can tell he's no Charles Pierce with his feet. Pierce Charles even. I said that really wrong. With his feet, because there was a couple of times.
It was like,
yeah, where he had the ball, he's not fast enough, but he did okay. He did okay, and there was some really good bits of play. And I'll tell you something, a lot of people are giving Ingolson some crap at times, but he's so good in that midfield for us. And I don't know if it's a case of him being really good in a bad Wednesday team, or we're actually seeing him because he's playing week in, week out now that he needed game time constantly. If that makes sense. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think if he had a yard extra of pace, he'd be really good. But to get that yard extra of pace, he would have to lose some of his physicality. And I think we need that physicality more than the pace.
What do you think? I'm going ahead a little bit, but what do you think of the new signings in general when they came on? So, obviously, Heskey had a little bit of time.
Cooper looked good. Heskey came on. He's a bruiser. I'll give him that. He is a unit. He took a couple of the Pompey players out quite quickly, but didn't really get much of the ball to really say how good he is. And I think it was a case of coming in a little bit too cold. And at that point, we were already chasing the game. And I think it's not fair to try and say it was. Some people kind of turn around and say, "Oh, he said he's naff," but he didn't really get into the game to really show it. The thing is, the first half you go in at half time.
People turn around already and say he's naff. That's ridiculous.
You go in at half time 0-0. You're going, you know what? Great, 0-0, great half. We've done okay. Maybe change it around a little bit in the second half and see what happens. And we do that.
Yeah.
But the problem is they get us on when we just made all the changes. You bring on McNeil, you bring on Heskey, you bring on Johnson. And you know what it's like. When you bring on new players, they take a while to get into the game or get into position, or the team needs to get used to what the new tactics are or what these new people have been told to do. And I think that's what kills us. We've got players coming on. It comes from a corner, our corner as well. At this point, I reckon we should just write to the EFL and say, don't give a corner. We don't do out from them. It's 100 of God corners we've had now that we've, again, nothing from. And they just go on a really good attack. And we're a bit slow to set ourselves at the back. To go forward, it's a good ball to the back. We don't clear it really well. Palmer doesn't get to his man quick enough. It's 1-0. And from that was game. Because we were chasing it after that. Because they got the tails up. Teams know you get to play us up to about the 60th minute and we're knackered. So do all your work then. Because we can't get back. We can't get back in position. Yep. We're too tired and we're done in. And people will go, oh, that's Hendrick's fault, that's the coaching fault. That's the EFL's situation. That's the man in Thailand who don't care fault. There's nothing we can do about it. We are playing so many kids. Look at the photograph with Dalton Smith and look at how young it looks. Like a quad. It's like ridiculous.
Well, it is. It's notoriously a a young squad, isn't it?
Yeah. We said for years we want to play you. Not like this.
No,
Not
I know.
throw them all in at the deep end.
But yeah, the game was just typical. Oh, have I crashed on there? My camera just took a while. Okay.
Do you need
That's
me to
weird.
pause?
Just OBS is lagging bad. All right, we'll keep going. Keep going.
But yeah, it's
Because the audio will still go.
you got to think we are just playing kids. You look at that team. How many of them are actually in air quotes first teamers that you would say at the start of the season? Like,
well, not well. Like, I was just literally looking. I've closed it now, but I was looking at the starting lineup, and you think how many of those would have started last season?
Not many.
Not many. Yeah,
You've probably got Cads, Lowe, Bannon, Ingleson, Palmer.
And Cads wouldn't have started last season because we didn't think he was good enough and wanted him to go out on loan.
Yeah. So take Cads out then. Jamal Lowe, Bannon, Ingleson, Palmer. Valerie.
Yeah.
That's it. So that was that 5.
Valerie's obviously back as well,
Yeah,
which
did
is
well.
Yep.
I tell you
Good
something, Aloe looked good, but the more I see Aloe looking good, the more it scares me about people wanting him.
And that's the thing. Wednesday are a club to just come and pick the bones of now, depending on where the Edmund structure goes. And we'll go into that in the news. We don't really have loads to talk about Portsmouth because it was just a typical case of Wednesday play well, Wednesday lose, rinse and repeat. So let's go into the rest of the championship, shall we? As of right now, these were live scores like at the 90+5, so there might have been some last minute goals here, Jack.
Let me have a look.
We'll give it a go. I've just said chat. Can you tell I'm a full-time streamer now?
Yeah. All those games
weird.
that were live in the dark, I think, are all done now, and they all look like they are the same results that are on there.
Right,
Be
cool.
fine.
So this is the championship roundup for today. It was West Brom 2, Middlesbrough 3, Coventry 2, Leicester 1, Ipswich 3, Blackburn 0, Watford 0, Millwall 2. We'll talk about Millwall in a bit. Southampton 1, Hull City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Portsmouth 1, Preston 0, Derby County 1, Oxford 0, Bristol City 0, Stoke City 0, QPR 0, Wrexham 1, Norwich City 2, Charlton 1, Sheffield United 0. And as of the time of recording, Swansea Birmingham has just kicked off. Currently 0-0.
Yeah. That West Brom Middlesbrough game was insane. You get certain games of football, right, which just highlight how good the championship is. And last night's game with West Brom Middlesbrough was Middlesbrough winning 2-0. West Brom get it to 2-2. Middlesbrough 94th minute winner. And you're like, wow.
Joy of it, innit?
Just
deviating from that, did you watch the Manchester Derby this morning?
Yes, I did. How weird do Man United look? How good they look then?
My poor fantasy team, man.
They're dead.
But yeah, it's one of those typical things, right? It shows that the players are still not in the right space.
No.
Because if they can do that, we know they can. That club is just in trouble. If they get a false sense of security, they'll hire Carrick. Carrick's a decent enough manager, right? But they'll just go through the same trappings all over again.
It's just going to be rinse and repeat. 18-month cycle. 18-month cycle.
Yeah.
Amarin, to his credit, I'll give him credit. He said what he said in public, and they didn't like it. That's why you got
no, because
sacked.
the thing is, right, Amarin could actually have that team playing like that because he set them up fairly similar when he finally went against his sort of
philosophy
principles. Yeah, and they won. You know, but he said, this is not me. This is not what you hired me for, which is the truth in a way, because if he's gone in with his philosophy, yes, we say is the sort of British, managers need to win football games. Carrick's gone in there and done that. He's played to the strengths of the players. That's what he was always going to have to do. Those players were always going to be better than they were under Amarin because they clearly promised him players that he wasn't going to get.
Yeah.
So The problem is when you embed a philosophy, if Amarin's just playing to the players he has, then the drip feed of players he gets in, he can't really play his system, and they won't get used to it. They'll get used to the square pegs in round holes sort of thing that they're just having to do it with. They needed they needed a massive transfer window with a lot of players that suit the system.
I won't lie, City weren't great, but can we just take a credit to what they're doing in the transfer window? Jesus Christ. Some of the bargains they're picking up is insane.
Mark Gay for 20 million I know he's out of contract in the summer, but it's an absolute robbery.
Oh, 100%.
It's ridiculous.
But then you look at the keeper. They got him for 26 million.
Yeah.
You look at all the signings they brought in have been absolute gems of just being smart and just waiting and being patient for it to hit the right thing. And I think the thing in football at the minute, you're starting to see a lot more clubs be a little bit more careful like that, especially the top six as such, because they're all having to be, well, unless you're Chelsea. Chelsea just do whatever they want. By the way, I'm loving that Lean Rossini is now the new meme for football with all the stuff that's happening.
Just... You see, the thing is, you know what's really sad is I've always loved the Premier League.
Yeah.
But and I've always loved the Championship, but because Wednesday is so bad, this is the first time I'm ever just I get more giddy off the Premier League and watching the Premier League. Because if I think about a Championship, I've got to think about Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that's really sad, Jake.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm kind of it's because we've talked about bringing one of my old Championship series back, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be easier to do that possibly when we're in League One next season.
I think next season you doing the Championship series will be really good.
Yeah, because I used to be quite very focused on what was happening in the Championship with all the clubs.
You should call it not the Prem 2.
So, yeah. But there's the Prem as well. But the Prem this season is just, because of Wednesday is so bad, I don't even want to look at the Championship because it just annoys me at how much I know we could have done something this season, Jake.
Yep. Oh, yeah. This is a very poor Championship team, and it would always be the case that it's a poor Championship team and Wednesday are in a position that we're in.
Yeah. The Championship season is just, Coventry is 6 points ahead at the top, right? So Coventry are a good side, but if you look at the playoffs, Coventry, Middlesbrough, Ipswich, Millwall, Hull, Preston. Preston are usually your bang 10th club, right? Wednesday always have trouble playing Preston, but Preston are even making a charge of it this season. They do occasionally, don't get me wrong, but you put Preston in the Championship, you always put them anywhere from sort of 8th to 14th.
Yeah.
And that's Preston. That has been Preston. The fact that they're going to challenge this season just shows.
Don't take this the wrong way, Preston fans, if anyone who's a Preston fan. You always remind me...
Yeah, I'm not meaning it like that.
But you always remind me of what Accrington Stanley used to be in League One. Accrington Stanley used to be middle of the table, League One. You knew where they were always going to be. And then they had that season
we also
where they got
always
relegated.
Struggle against Preston, by the way.
Yeah.
I can almost say Preston will always get 6 points off Wednesday.
It's you look at the bottom. You look at the bottom from West Brom down in the Championship table. Take us away. Even with -7 points, now we have 11 points. We'd still be relegated. Way off. Our goal for ending this season is to get on positive points. That's it.
Yeah, genuinely.
Just get on positive points.
I'm not going to talk. We got a few comments from me battering Henrik last week. Look, I'm not battering him for his character. I'm not battering anything. I was saying this to you earlier, and you actually said this before I said it. He's a better coach than he is a manager.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And it's nothing against the bloke.
I think with Henrik, we've all got sentimentality because he come in and done the job when no one else was going to. And I get that. And I will always respect him for that. But from what you see, and he's working with what he got, don't get me wrong, but I think he's a better coach than manager. If you actually look at what his manager record is.
I will say today,
you got it right.
Today was a thing that we should have got a result from it. And that actually isn't on Henrik today, because that is where, with the quality of player and quality of finish, we would have got something. But there's only been a few matches like that.
Yeah.
So when I sort of say Wednesday play well, but we don't get anything, that's not like it's been all season. Actually, there's been times where we've played woefully, quite a few times, and it looks like we're being set up wrong. But in terms of today, it was one of those sides where actually we were set up quite well. We played well.
But again, with the whole saying we've been set up wrong, he's settled with what he got and what he can do. Like he hasn't got the ability of someone to go, right, today I'm going to play a four at the back. It's like who's injured, who's not. Right, I've only got 3 fit centre back. That's my back formation.
True, but he needs to stop playing 5.
Well, yeah. Good point.
This is the point. He's adamant at playing a back 5, Jake.
I think he's just trying to damn his limitations at this point.
Yeah.
It generally just looks like playing 5 at the back is just damn his limitations. If we play 5, I might not get smashed 6 or 7. We might get smashed 3, which is what's been happening, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that's been the average goal that we lose by 3-0.
Yeah, but that's with 5.
But again, like I said, I think it's a case of not getting smashed 6, just getting smashed 3. Put 5 there. I think the thing is, I've had it a couple of games.
3. Did you? I know I'm not saying it is for you, but just listen to the words that just came out of your mouth.
I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. I know how it sounds. But what I mean is, I think he'd rather get smashed 3-0 than 6-0 than playing a system where he knows he can put body back there to defend. Then trying to not. And the thing is, if you actually look at some of the games where we are getting beat like 3-0, you can see at times where the teams have gone, oh, we're done now. Let's not play with them too much. We're done now. We put 3 past them. That's enough. And I don't want that.
No. Well, let's talk about some positives before we go back into the Sheffield Wednesday general news, because it is general news, but we'll do the positive news first. So this is from the Wednesday website. Owls signed Jaden Heskey on loan. The Owls have signed attacking midfielder Jaden Heskey on a half-season loan from Premier League giants Man City. The 20-year-old will add pace and power to Henrik's Pedersen squad for the remainder of the campaign. Heskey has made a big impression in the academy ranks over the Pet Nines, graduating to store first-team experience under the guidance of Pep Guardiola. The versatile youngster, who can operate across the engine room, found the net in the FA Youth Cup final in May 2024 as City beat Leeds to lift the silverware. Guardiola handed Heskey a senior debut earlier this season in the Carabao Cup against Huddersfield, and the midfielder now continues his journey at Hillsborough. He was number 24 for the duration of his stay. Also in, Murphy Cooper makes the S6 switch. Wednesday have secured the services of goalkeeper Murphy Cooper from Championship club QPR on a loan deal for the rest of the season. Cooper is no stranger to South Yorkshire, having spent the first half of the current campaign on loan at Barnsley in League One. The 24-year-old will stay in these parts on a temporary basis, joining fellow new recruit Jaden Heskey in S6. Cooper began his career with the Wickham Academy and made a short hop to QPR in 2012, where he spent a decade in the R's youth ranks. He learnt his trade during that time with a list of loans at Welling United, Bath City, Stratford Town, Swindon Town and Stevenage before signing for the Tykes on a temporary deal at the start of the 25-26 season. The shot stopper made 28 appearances for Barnsley and now moves to Hillsborough for the remainder of the season. Cooper has been allocated shirt number 13. Welcome to Wednesday, Murphy. Recall from Barnsley to come to us. What are your thoughts on that one before we talk about Heskey?
Let's just talk about his mental week. Monday, we're playing Liverpool. We're playing Liverpool on Monday in the Cup. You get recalled. Wednesday, you get told that Sheffield Wednesday are looking at you and it might be a goer. It was the one where it's obviously QPR want him to go and have Championship football now. He's done League One, done okay. And they recalled him to come back. Apparently, he already had a place in Sheffield as well, so he didn't have to move far. I think he just gone back to the same place he was staying. But I think it's that whole thing. You look at it's a keeper we need. We weren't allowed the emergency loan kind of one that we were hoping for because of Charles'
it took a
injury.
slot, didn't it?
Yeah, it took a slot. And to be fair,
why is that?
I'd rather
is it because it's in the transfer window?
I'd rather take the slot than have to do 7 days having to constantly go 7-day back to the EFL, say we need him a bit longer. We need a bit longer. Leave with it, get it done. I agree that we know Charles is going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, which is potentially end of season if you think about it. But at the end of the day, we needed a keeper. It gone from being, we might be able to get 2 outfield players in to 1 outfield player and then Cooper in. You look at what Hecky done. Hecky done really well. He was captain in their under 18 side. He'd been captain for their under 20s. He's seemed to be on the right progression that we want. And with the Hecky deal was technically already done in the summer. With the just EFL,
it was one of them free deals as well, wasn't it? Like the EMS one.
It was all done, and the EFL went, no, you're not getting it done. And even Man City kind of went, hang on, we've done all the stuff to let them have him. We're fine with this deal. Let them take him. We're okay. Fine. Let him go. And even they got a bit annoyed with the EFL. I think for Hecky, it's a case of let's see how he progresses. Obviously, in Man City's eyes of someone they want to look at further down the line. From what I saw today, he's a unit.
Guardiola likes Bannon as well, so he'd like him with Heskey.
I won't lie, that interview cracked me up. Like, you don't... How to make your new captain feel old? Oh, I played with your dad. You played with my dad a bit when you were at Villa. Like, brilliant. Cheer for that, lad. I don't feel old at all. And then him saying he played with McNeil, he played with Charles, he played against Gab. So it's always good to see that there's already someone in there they know. So they can start.
Seems to have a good head on his shoulders. Seems to be ready to get stuck in.
Yeah,
and he's not been put off by the position we're in because he sees the opportunity of it. He knows we're going to get relegated, but he wants the game time.
He just wants to
Could
play.
have come to us at the start of the season, didn't get put off.
No, he's still seen that we're in a relegation battle and we're down. Why am I saying relegation battle? We're down. There's nothing to battle for.
We're down.
But the other thing you've got is you think about the keeper situation. We have the situation where start of the week, we don't know what's going on with Charles. And then we find out Killian Barrett has gone to Barrow on a permanent deal.
Yeah.
So we're like, hang on, don't we need a keeper? Why are we letting him go? But I think in that one...
Speaking of Charles, extent of his injury, do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, Charles, it's looking like it can be 6 to 8 weeks out. It's his shoulder. I think with the way he went off injured in that game, I think he knows he's done exactly the same with the other shoulder.
It looked like it, didn't it?
The way he had his head in his top and the way he was just reacting, it's like, I know this pain. I've felt this before. Damn it. I need to have surgery on this.
I really hope that's not a thing because he's got such a career ahead of him if he can stay injury free.
Well, here's the thing. If that's the thing, we progress him into a midfielder.
Yeah, he still gets shoulder injuries that way though. But yeah.
Yeah, but not as bad.
That's true.
I think the thing is
he could play out. He could play outfield. That man.
Yeah, I think with his age, it's better to get these light shoulder injuries now. And I think there's a case of maybe just he's playing a lot of games and his body wasn't used to playing that quickly. Especially with keepers, with how often they go down on their shoulders and stuff and make the saves they do. Shoulder strength is something that you have to be looking highly on your conditioning. So maybe in the summer, they give him another conditioning situation where we're going to work heavily on strengthening those shoulders for you.
Yeah, get the strength in there. That makes sense. Why do you think we didn't go for Joe Lumley?
He's currently a number 2. They got a goalkeeping crisis.
That'd be why then.
They got an injury.
Because I was thinking this with Cooper. I wouldn't have minded Lumley coming back. I know he wasn't like amazing, but I liked his attitude. I liked his getting stuck in. I thought he could have been. He seemed better than Horvath.
You know, it's that was like have 5 keepers this season.
I know.
Which is just insane.
And people will still say the EFL have been too lenient on us.
Well, EA have been too lenient on us as well.
Yeah. It won't be with Murphy Cooper's FIFA card, though. It's 64 rated bronze. Enjoy.
Oh, that's not bad.
There you go. We haven't done that in a while.
Hey, we should be celebrating, though. We've made 2 signings in the transfer window.
I know, right? That's
Hallelujah.
exciting. This might not be as exciting. Let's talk about this one first. This is from the Star. Rangers boss Danny Rull in Max Lowe approach as club circle on Sheffield Wednesday. Defender Max Lowe is another player on a growing list of Sheffield Wednesday players that are a January interest to other clubs, the Star understands. Manager Henrik Pedersen admitted earlier this week that the club were aware of outside admiration for a number of players in his threadbare squad, with skipper Barry Bannon having revealed to be the subject of serious interest from clubs both in the Championship and north of the border. The Star have reason to believe that Lowe, one of the few senior players in Pedersen's squad, was the target of an inquiry from Scottish Giants Rangers earlier on in the window. The Ibrox club are managed by former Owls boss Danny Rull, the man who brought him to Hillsborough in the summer of 2024. It is not known whether Rangers are likely to return with a formal offer this window. Max Lowe has interest away from Sheffield Wednesday. It is believed the likelihood of the 20-year-old leaving Hillsborough this month is slim as things stands, with sources suggesting the player having expressed no immediate desire to leave the club. Lowe is among the players currently injured and coming towards the end of his contract at Hillsborough, with the club holding no extension trigger on his deal. As a team based outside of England, Rangers have the ability to offer lower pre-contract terms as he is in the final few months of his deal at S6. A consortium led by James Board is working through an EFL vetting process, having been given the preferred bidder status by Sheffield Wednesday's administrators, Begbie's trainer. Until the club is placed in new hands, players await true clarity on the landscape of their futures. Right. Max Lowe. Do you think there's going to be movement on this one, Jake, with the interest from Rangers? Do you think it'll be this window?
I don't think he'll move now, but I do think there's a possibility they put a pre-contract in front of him and he gets his future sorted.
That's where I'm feeling with this.
And then he can go into summer knowing he's already got a club, know he's all ready to go. It all depends on, does he want to go up to Scotland? Does he want to stay in England? Is he quite happy here and just seeing what the new consortium does when they're in? It's one of them, because I think Matt Lowe in League One, fantastic. Does Matt Lowe want to go to League One? Could he go to Rangers?
That's the thing. Max Lowe is a championship player through and through.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Yeah. He go to Rangers, the likelihood that, depending on how they're doing, he could be playing Champions League qualifiers and stuff like that. It's one of them because of him being injured right now. I don't see him going now because but I also think Rangers don't need to take the risk on him now because they've got that window to just wait to see how his injury pans out and then just give him a pre-contract anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not like it has to be done in January. It could be done in March. Say he comes back and he plays in late January, February, and they decide to give him a pre-contract in March.
Yeah,
he's sorted.
On a player point of view, that probably ideally he can go into the summer knowing his deal's done. All he's got to do is go and find a house in Scotland, and then he can come back.
Wednesday just don't hold the cards in it. I think he'd be good in that Rangers side as well. To be fair, because the thing about Max Lowe is his versatility, isn't it? It's the fact he can play left back, he can play centre back. And for me, he's probably one of our main choice centre backs when he's fit at the minute.
He's probably one of our most complete players, or not complete. What's the word? Reliable. When he did play. He
was my signing of the season last season, I believe, when we did the awards.
I believe he was, yeah.
Because he really came on. And the one thing with Max Lowe is you've just got to watch for his injuries. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure this will get out to the algorithm of Rangers fans at some point. But if you did sign him, the injuries aren't a unknown thing for Max Lowe. He had it at his previous clubs where he was just very injury prone.
Like anytime Sheffield Wednesday buy a player or get a player in, we get opposition fan and just be warned they've got an injury record. We had that with Chalobah. Like West Brom fans, really good when fit. Matt Lowe, really good. We do,
however, have a little fun thing on this channel. Like it's the Talking Wednesday draft basically, and I tally up the points. And Max Lowe was one of our highest performing. I think he was my highest performing, other than Bannon. Player last season, because he's just consistently above a 7 every single week. And that's based on the stats that are given to him by what did I used to use? It's the... So who scored? So the stats that are on who scored that track Max Lowe across there, he was solid. He's only got a 6.61 across all his time in the championship.
Yeah.
But if you look at his stuff from last season, I just remember him being consistently, he's got a rating score. Oh, he's got a rating score again, because he would constantly get over the sevens. He's just a solid player, and I think he'd do quite well for Rangers. I don't know if he'd be first choice there. I don't really know what their left back situation is, centre back situation is, but I think he'd go. And because I do think he's better than League One. I mean, he'd be amazing in League One. Maybe he's settled though. He obviously came from the other side of the city. Maybe he just wants to stick around here. That could be a situation. We're going to be a side that are going to be favourites for promotion next season, you think, unless we get hit with another deduction. But there's that draw here, especially if we chuck a contract in front of him when the new owners come in. Because that's the difference. We could chuck a contract to him while he's injured, and he's got that to sign, but that contract could then go away. Yeah, but that could go away if like he waits for his injury to be over. You could kind of play that game with him. Go, you can sign this now.
I believe he's meant to be back for the Wrexham game.
Okay,
which is end of month. You got to remember, because it's all changed now. The transfer window shuts on the 3rd of Feb at 7.
Again, he's not transfer window tied. Because if he goes to Rangers, he can just sign it whenever.
They'd be
getting a good player. Wednesday be losing. However, injury-wise, he's probably one of our more paid players. So if you're looking at League One next season, I think it's likely that he is probably one of the players that leaves. I believe, don't quote me on it, but he was one of the players that actually handed in his notice, but
he did. He was one of the ones that handed in asking to hand in notice, but then got his head turned back saying, "Duck day, we can do something here, even if it's not great."
Yeah, he's on the way out. Basically, they said the transfer is on his way out, so stay. But yeah, that's the rumours anyway. Don't quote us on it. But yeah, I like Max Lowe. I think he's a good player, but the injuries are a massive thing.
Yeah.
This would be considerably bad for Sheffield Wednesday, Jake, and we're going to talk about all the avenues of it. This is from the Star. Barry Bannon's Scottish suitor revealed with the club legends Sheffield Wednesday future in doubt. Sheffield Wednesday captain Barry Bannon could be the subject of offers from clubs in England and Scotland this month. Bannon signed a new deal with the Owls at the start of the season with a substantial wage cut in order to comply with the rules put in place by the English Football League during Deshfon Chansiri's tenure, despite better offers elsewhere from Championship clubs. Now, with Wednesday still waiting to be taken over, there have been reports of interest in the 36-year-old maestro, with Sky Sports stating that Millwall, Stoke City and Preston North End are all keen. The Lions were a team Bannon turned down in the summer. The Owls skipper, who is believed to still retain hopes of forcing his way into the Scotland club squad for the World Cup, has sacrificed plenty in order to remain loyal to the Owls, but Wednesday's resolve in trying times may well be tested this month. On top of the interest from the Wednesday's Championship rivals, the Star understands that Motherwell and another non-Old Firm club in the Scottish Premiership are looking to try and take Bannon north of the border, and it does appear that they could come knocking on the door before the transfer window ends. All of the clubs interested can offer more than he's currently earning, and all are more competitive as well. Hendrik Pedersen, who has spoke glowingly of his number 10 on many occasions, has made it clear he doesn't want to lose anyone this month. As you'd expect, that is especially the case when it comes to the man that wears the armband. It remains to be seen of what sort of offer, if any, would be considered by those currently in charge of the club's finances with regards to a possible Bannon departure. But few fans would begrudge him a move if it's something he wanted to do now after all he's given the club over the last decade. The Scot is by no means the only player at Hillsborough's who have interest to other clubs at this point in time, but there is no exit that would be as painful. An anxious couple of weeks await. I didn't really believe this when I first read it, and I'm not sure, like, we don't know if it's true still, but the Star are now reporting on it, said there's got to be clubs interested. I don't believe that Bannon would want to. However, I'll tell you what, let's just go with that bit. Would fans begrudge him a move, Jake?
No. I don't think any fan
course
would.
we wouldn't.
I think
That's
every fan
100%
would be
right.
very much be like, look, we understand it. You've been here. You've had multiple offers over your time here to leave, and you still stayed every time. I think there's something that you said at the start before we started about Scotland in the World Cup. There is that kind of thing. If you want to try and get into it, I think it's very slim. If he's trying to get into that Scottish team, don't get me wrong. Even if you go up to Scotland, there's no guarantee that you're gonna still get in.
You'd have the eyes on you more of the Scottish fans and things like that if you were around there, I guess. What I said to you, Jake, before we started this, and I said I'd save it for the podcast because I worry that Henrik Pedersen is playing Bannon into the ground because he has to. We've got no choice. I'd rather play any of the kids than Barry Bannon and just play him one game a week or whatever.
Yeah.
If Bannon needs to be looked after so he can bring us back up next season, that's what should happen. However, if there's this competitive side that wants to get back in the World Cup, loan him out, and then when he's out of contract, re-sign him to come back on League One. Yeah. I'd do that for Bannon quite easily. I'd go, do you know what? You want to get into the squad in the summer? We'll loan you to us because we're not competitive, right, Jake? If anything, he's going to run himself into the ground here, play every single game, and have to retire at the end of the season.
I'll be honest
rather than bring us back up.
He ain't passing a medical. That knee is not passing any medical. Even if
we don't know that for exactly. Do you know what I mean? You can't be sure on that.
But the thing is, you look at that knee and how heavily strapped it is every game. There's surely an issue there with his knee. And they will want, whoever wants him will want to do a competitive medical. You do a competitive medical and you find anything that could say there's a one tackle that could go for that loan or the deal. You're not going to take it. The thing is, he's playing pretty much on one leg at the minute. When you see him, he's not the same Bannon that we've seen in the past. You can tell he's not been able to run as much or chase things down. He's having to manage his body a lot smarter than he had done in the past. Like, we know Bannon, he would normally run down keepers, run after everything. If you notice today, Cads was doing all that. Cads was doing that kind of Bannon role. He's playing more of an anchor, sit back, play that long ball, hope that's when he gets on the end of it. The thing with me is the Scottish part of it as well. You do also wonder a little bit as well if there's a Scottish move on the card. Is there a case of him just wanting to go home? He's been in England since he was like 13. All his entire
However,
career.
think about his family. His family's home, and they often say home is where your immediate family is. I reckon his family are more bedded here.
Yeah, I agree. But
his kids.
But if they had a chance to have 2 seasons at say Motherwell, where he's up there for 2 seasons to see his lot, and then come back down, and then once he's retired and be based here, I think the issue you've got with this, every time in the summer, there's always something about Barry Bannon and clubs sniffing. There always have been. It's the same with when we had Josh. There's always been people looking at him. This, for me, it doesn't make sense when you literally have it that he could have gone anywhere in the summer. He could have gone anywhere in the summer. He didn't have a contract. He was still training with us. He could have gone anywhere, and he didn't. I do wonder if there's the part of me that goes, yes, he's doing acting this, and this, and he'll still want to keep going. But I wonder if there's a part of him that's thinking the body is getting tired a little bit. If there's one more champ before I retire, I'll do it. But Bannon has said he does want to retire here if he can.
And I think he can. I genuinely, Jake, do you know, with Bannon, if that knee is an issue, stop. Just send him for surgery now and get him ready for next season. If he decides he wants to, if this is the last we see in Barry Bannon and he decides he wants to retire after the surgery, fine. But give him a chance of recovering this towards the end of the season, have a pre-season and have a bloody good go at League One. That's if. Obviously, this World Cup thing might be there, but is Bannon going to go to the World Cup with one leg? You know?
Yeah.
You'd think they're even slimmer if they get a whiff of that because they'll have the medical sort of, they'll be keeping an eye on that end as well.
And by the way, Baz on one leg outdoes anything that's in our team, even now.
Oh, God, yeah. No, I'm not using that as a detriment. I'm talking about the way, like, medical departments look at things. Like,
come on. Remember a couple of years ago, there was a Hull City player who failed a medical because he didn't have 20/20 eye vision. I'm sure there was a medical. There was a medical.
There are so many
failed.
teams. Genuinely, any team in the Championship would be better with Barry Bannon in it, and I'll say that even at 36. Any team.
Yeah.
He's that good. And he's been our player. And that's not through Wednesday glasses. Everyone always says, why does Barry Bannon only turn up when they play us? When Wednesday play us. Funnily enough, every team in the Championship pretty much says that.
Mm.
Do you know why? Because Barry Bannon is that good. You think it's just you. It's not. He is that good.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to, I don't know. I read it and I still don't believe it. I respect the star. I respect where, that sort of thing. But because it's, I think the fact that I think that the original Sky report might be trying to lead with the fact that, Bannon will want to go into the World Cup, so this interest means Bannon's going to be going. I don't think it's that simple, Jake. And if it is fair, nobody will begrudge him it, but I just don't think it is. It doesn't make sense to at this, because if anything, if he is struggling with an injury, you just get fit. You go for surgery and you have a preseason and you're out of contract at the end of the season anyway.
If you remember, in the summer, we were saying that we were hoping he was going to go get surgery. Yeah. So that knee had been an issue for the last, I say, 2 seasons.
Yeah. And then you come to a point where it's like, well,
you gotta remember, it is people have said in the past, it's very hard to tell Barry to stop and not play.
True, but that's where it comes down to management as well and preserving it, and like a case of, because Barry will be like, oh no, it's fine, I can play, sort of thing. And then he'll be talking about how he's probably, I'm struggling now. And it's like, yeah, Barry, because we need to manage you and we need to come up with this with you. We can't have you playing every game. He shouldn't be playing every game. We've got a 3-game week this week, Jake.
Yep. I think the thing is, also, you also got to remember the other thing as well with all these things about us and transfers. The administrator did say we don't need to fire sale like normal, but if they come in, they will look at it. There is a considerable big non-refundable deposit that's gone in, and I think it's been a big one, so they don't have to fire sale. But the longer they take over for checks and balances, the more you go to the end of the window, do they go, if there's a big offer there, we may have to think about it.
Well, yeah, that's the simple thing with it, isn't it? And but Bannon will be able to say, no, I'll see out my contract to the end of the season. If the club needs him to go for money, Barry will go. He'll go because he's that kind of character. But he was training with us for free. He wasn't getting paid.
Yep.
I mean, he wasn't getting paid even if he was under contract, but then he was playing with us out of contract.
Out of contract, yeah.
We had to get him a contract sorted so he could actually play when the season started.
Let's just remember, the reason Bannon stays is his little girl. And he said that in the interview. Yeah. If it wasn't for his little girl, he would have gone elsewhere. But I think if he goes, no Wednesday fans shall feel anything for him. He's given more than most players should ever give in their career.
Yeah. Do you know what? It'll just be a sad, and I think Bannon will see this as well. It'll be a sad sort of way to go out at Wednesday because the club are going down.
It won't be how he wanted. It won't be how he wanted to go.
No. I think how he'll want to go out at Wednesday is lifting whatever trophy gets us back up next season.
Yeah.
And I think it's doable. We just got to have the bigger picture with it, which is why I want to look after him now. I want to manage his games. I want to get him to a point because I think next season in League One is about having Bannon in there, but having Bannon finally as that sort of, right, I'm nearly done. how does this team look without me in it?
Yeah.
Let's start having where I play a game, and then we've got another sort of player that we're bringing through for the future. So I'm playing the Saturday because it's the tougher fixture on paper. The other guy's playing the Tuesday. We're doing it this way. I'm managing my games.
Yeah.
And then that's how we phase Barry Bannon out. But again, I wouldn't begrudge him a move. He'd get more money. It'd make sense. But I think he'll have all this in his head because it'll be a case of I could be go and be competitive. But I'll be honest, like I think Scotland, there's been many times where he should have been in that Scotland squad, but he hasn't had the respect. The fact he wasn't called up to the most recent thing, and we've got Scottish fans in our community who tell us that
from what people are saying about
he'd just be a
Pedersen's interview to the Radio Sheffield, Pedersen made it sound like he could be off. Wasn't positive about it, like put it that way. So we'll see.
Well, if that's the case, nothing had surprised me this season, I guess, Jake.
Yeah.
It'd be a very sad time.
Yep.
And hopefully one day, we're not really a guest podcast as it stands, but he is somebody I would love to sit and have a chat with for an hour.
Yeah.
Proper Wednesday legend. But let's see how it plays out. Let us know what you think about Barry in the comments. All of this, would it sour it for you, or would it be all the best, mate? You've done absolutely everything.
Give me a minute,
for this
I can
club
let you know what he said. Henrik, so just give me a minute. Just go on to the next thing and I'll let you know.
Well, we've got the youngster. It's worth me cutting in and saying that Chelsea and Liverpool and Manchester United are after Yisa Aleo, the youngster. So we're looking at even having the bones picked there. Wednesday can't keep hold of their youngsters at the minute, which is a possibility. We've notoriously not been able to help keep hold of our good young prospects, and it could be happening again here. The Star have sort of said that those clubs are interested, and we know what happens. We lost the younger Cadamartri to Man City. If you've got those three clubs sniffing around, it's Aleo, especially now he's having first team interest. Maybe he stays this season, but he gets a contract elsewhere. Because he's 17, he can go to one of these academies and he can have a much better career at the minute as it stands. So we'll see what happens there in terms of it. Well, I'll also quickly mention, to be fair, because this podcast is running a bit longer than we have been recently, Nathan Redmond, we don't know what's going to happen because he is out of contract at the end of January, the 26th, I believe. We don't even know if he can sign as it currently stands because the extension thing, because we've got so many limited slots with the restrictions that the EFL have placed upon us. Even if we wanted to, we might not be able to. So I actually think that's really disappointing because Nathan Redmond starting to get some fitness, obviously had the injury when he first came in. He's the kind of player that we might as well have in the squad and see if he's worth a go in League One, if he can do sort of, half a season this season, bringing him round. But yeah, let's go back to Bannon then. So what's Henrik said? So
basically Henrik said he hopes he can stay. He hopes that Barry wants to stay and be here. Barry gone to Henrik, said there's interest. Henrik said there's always going to be interest in Barry Bannon. I hope he can, but it's all to do with his heart and head. If he does go, it will be gutting for us if he does, but we'll have to say he doesn't sound positive that he's staying. It sounds quite downbeat. But then again, Henrik is a little bit like that when he speaks.
True. However, if Barry's come to him with it, that's quite concerning.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if there is a chance that Barry's not impressed with Henrik.
Yeah.
He likes it. He respects him for what he's done, but in terms of like the management of the team,
yeah, the quote
could be the killer.
The quote was Pedersen said Bannon went to him at some point this week and asked about the interest in him. Pedersen confirmed it's genuine. He said he wants him to stay, but he told Bannon to follow his heart and go with what feels is best.
This could be a rough couple of weeks, Jake.
Yep. There could be a
Sheffield
very
Wednesday Football Club.
There could be a very rough couple of weeks. I think there isn't a positive, but there is a slight positive. If you're going into a new ownership, you have a complete reset where everything from the Chancery era to a point has gone, apart from Palmer, who've been here since he was like 8. But
I think he'll be off soon, though, too. Yeah, to be honest,
I think if it does happen, it's the clearest case of a reset we've ever had.
What's the new identity of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club?
Yeah,
I guess. Good luck, Barry, with whatever you decide. I'm sure we'll be talking about you a lot over the next couple of weeks with this as this plays on. We had another Redmond training with us this week. The Star were reporting that Aston Villa's Zepi Queno Redmond was training with us. And guess what, Wednesday fans? There's no point talking about him because he got injured.
You laughed at 20 minutes.
With us, bless him.
You laughed at 20 minutes, felt his knee, and like, I'm done, boys. See you later. Bye.
Yeah. Pretty much. So that's the end of that story there. Next matches, we've got Birmingham and Bristol City both coming up, Jake. How many points and why is it 0 out of these 2 games are we going to get?
It's 0 because Barry Bannon's not going to be here. No.
Oh, God. He loves the game against Birmingham, does Baz, though? He does.
Oh, can you imagine if that was his last game?
Yeah.
The last
we
game
might not have to imagine, mate, unfortunately.
Imagine that's his last game and he scored the winner. Just scream and go, I'm out.
Oh, I'm going to get really sad.
He's going to get really sad.
Yeah.
We're going to have to have
he's like my favourite ever Wednesday player.
We're going to have to find a new chant, full stop.
Yeah. You're going to see grown men cry.
Yeah.
I'm not at that point. I've had a lump in my throat at football, but I've never like wept. Maybe Barry's the one that takes me over the edge, Jake. Maybe we both sit here and have a cry.
Yeah. I'll be honest, bro. Birmingham at minute are currently losing to Swansea at the moment, 1-0 to Swansea, so it'll be interesting how they do. Bristol City are weird. They've fallen off a little bit recently. They were up there and now they've just fallen off. I think they've gone down to like mid-table-ish. Yeah. If you want to look at something before we end the podcast.
You say Bristol are the 10th, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or Birmingham. Sorry.
Hang on.
So Bristol City are 10th at the minute.
Yeah.
Birmingham are 14th as it stands currently. The games.
If you want to go,
this might have been dragged just before the day.
Go look at the League One table, and just go look all the way to the bottom and see what we could be not facing next season. And look at certain teams who could get dragged into this.
I didn't know they were doing that badly. Rotherham are second from bottom on 24 points, 5 from safety.
Look above them.
No, sorry, 3 from safety. No, 5 from safety. Doncaster. I don't mind Doncaster.
Look where Barnsley are. They could get dragged
6
into
points
it.
Above safety. Yeah, they could get dragged into it. They did. No, I don't think so. They've got 3 games in hand.
Yeah, but we had 3 games in hand and we nearly blew going up.
That's true. That's true. If it is a good sign, though, Cardiff, looking at that table, Cardiff City are on 55 points, 6 ahead at the top of the league, and Cardiff City were not a very good side last season, so there's hope.
Yeah.
Luton Town really weren't a good side last season, and they're 7th. So maybe the standard is what we remember in League One.
We'll see.
However, Stockport 4th.
Yeah, well, Stockport's always done.
Bradford 3rd. Bradford 3rd.
I'll be honest with you, the Bradford stuff, if you haven't seen their hashtag stuff over the last 2 days, it's been hilarious.
I've not, no.
Oh, if you get a chance, anyone get a chance, just look up the Huddersfield Town Bradford hashtag and just go for it. It's hilarious.
Fair enough. But yeah, Jake, big no points from the next couple. And after that, we'll talk about all this all over again, I'm sure.
Yep.
It won't be next Saturday we catch up because I've got a set release with work. So I'm sure I'll catch you at some point and we'll sort it out.
Yeah.
I could probably do Saturday night, actually. I'll be knackered, but we'll figure it out.
Let's see how you are first. If you're knackered, there's no point.
I'd rather do it then, to be honest, because then I can actually take Sunday off and sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might be very tired next week when we come around. But anything to add before we wrap this one up for this week's episode of the Talking Wednesday podcast, Jake?
If anyone's got a scouting system or AI model or clone Dolly, can you go back to 2015 and clone Bannon and put him in our youth academy as a young 16-year-old, please?
Yeah. And I will say again, if you would like to do a call-in for our 250 or something like that, please drop that you're interested in the comments, and we will we'll get in touch. Because I'm debating whether we actually do a call-in or we do something completely different. So knowing who would be up for giving us a call again, the call-in episode, so I can get the list ready like we did last time, would be good, because that's going to have to happen very, very quickly if it does. So let us know in the comments. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Talking Wednesday. Take care, and we will see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.